Hello there, this is Michael Keys. Just quickly, I'm so excited about Start 2014 like a rocket. So I've extended the deadline for bonuses until 5 p.m. today. If you haven't yet, please register before then so you don't miss out on your bonuses. Remember, this is $801 worth of value in email support, training videos and the seminar, and you get it all for just $197, so register below. Last year after one of my seminars, I got this fantastic email from a guy who attended my seminar, and it said, just a quick note to let you know that as a direct result of attending your high performance selling seminar last week, I just completed a sale that otherwise would have never occurred. Although I always get a lot from the training I attend, this is the first time that something that was suggested at a course has been so directly responsible for turning what appeared to be a total washout into a result that all parties were delighted with. Now, he was referring to my "it's just going to take a little bit longer" principle. This is quite an in-depth principle, but I'm just going to share with you a snapshot today so you get an idea of what it's all about. So after he had received a lead from a home finder, Steve made an appointment to present for the listing. The vendor had told Steve that he was a bit of a stubborn pain to deal with, and these were the vendor's words. Steve ended up listing the property after a frosty beginning, but at a higher price than he knew the property would sell for. The house was listed at $650,000. And shortly after listing the property and putting it on the market, Steve had an offer written up for $610,000. After a tough tussle, Steve was able to get the difficult vendor down to the new asking price of $625,000, and this was to be offered to the buyers first. And the buyers came up with $615,000. Now, Steve believed that $615,000 was the very best price that these people were going to get. And after a long meeting with the vendors were adamant that they would not budge from the $625,000. You see, as we know in real estate, the first offer is normally the best offer. And the worst example I ever saw of this was somebody who had an offer of $680,000 on $750,000 to start with. They rejected the $680,000 and 18 months later got $595,000. The first offer is normally the very best offer that they're going to get. So the next morning, Steve phoned the vendor, and the vendor said no to the $625,000. They said the $625,000 was the bottom line. So Steve said okay, he'd come around and collect the paperwork. So as Steve was leaving the office, he said, I'm slipping my cement boots on, I'm going around to see these people, and I'm not coming back without this sale. Now there's some determination. There is somebody who's going to find a way to put this together. So he went around and he saw the vendors, and he came out of that meeting with the sale. How, you ask? Well, this is what I'm here to share with you today. So now let's move on to the 3 ways to use the "it's just going to take a little bit longer" principle. Now, the first thing Steve did was to take out a pen, took it out of his pocket, placed it on the contract. He looked the husband in the eye and said, I'm not leaving until you sign this or convince me that you're making the right decision by not signing. You need to have the courage to do this. While you're in these tough positions of negotiation, you must have the courage to close the sale. If you believe that this is the right decision for them, then you must be able to lead them to make the decision. And Steve believed that accepting the $615,000 was the right thing for them because he believed that that was the very best price. It was the top of his range. He believed it was the very best price that they were going to get. Number 2, you've got to keep it light. When you go into these situations, the most important thing is to keep it light and humorous. If you aggravate the vendor or disrespect them in any way, you will not make the sale. It's as simple as that. Stay true to the relationship you've built with the vendor and always keep their best interests at heart. And in this case, Steve was keeping their best interests at heart. Their best interest was to get them happily moved to the coast and get them moved together. Number 3 is the most important one. You must know how to uncover the real reason that people reject. Now, there's the real reason and then there's the given reason. The whole time Steve was focused on the husband. And at about the 2-hour mark, the husband said, well, maybe I'll just go to the coast by myself then. Steve then realised it was the wife who didn't want to move the whole time. It took him about half an hour to work with the wife in order to show her that she was going to have to sell eventually, and she was robbing herself of her time on the coast and time with her husband. And eventually she decided to accept the $615,000 and they would move happily together to the coast. They eventually signed and the vendors were ecstatic with the result. In my seminar, I teach you how the "it's just going to take a little bit longer" principle works and how to uncover the real objection to moving, plus how to select the best negotiation skill for your vendor. If you haven't yet been to any, please consider the Start 2014 Like a Rocket workshop in January. The bonuses are open till 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So, you'll still get the $801 worth of value for just $197. I really do want you to succeed in 2014, and this is a great way to do it. So sign up below. Thanks for watching. This is Michael Keys saying goodbye.